Hey everybody, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Welcome back to my channel. Here I am with all of the pens that I acquired at the Chicago Pen Show. Now, instead of doing individual videos, I'm going to do one big video of all these. So let's get started. The first pen I'm going to show you is this Franklin Christoph. This was on my list for prepping for the Chicago Pen Show, and I've been staring at this for months and telling myself I didn't need it, and then I did. This is the Franklin Christoph Model 31 in antique glass. And what I love about the Franklin Christoph pens is, one, you get this fancy schmancy pen case, but two, just look at the craftsmanship on these, and that antique glass is stunning. But also, what I love about the Model 31 is that this is also the same model that my Ascension wing is in, but this is a really comfortable pen. And then it comes with a JoWo nib. I chose an extra fine, but I also got a SIG nib, which is similar to a cursive smooth italic. So to show you in comparison to other pens that I have in my collection, the other Franklin Christoph pens that I have are this Model 31 in Ascension wing, and then this Model 2, which is a Van Ness exclusive. So you can see the difference in all of these. Now, these are all JoWo. Oh, I am so crooked here. The JoWo number 6 nib holders, essentially, but they are fantastic. So the Van Ness one has a medium, now Kadachi grind on there, which I just had done at the Chicago Pen Show. And then the one on the Ascension wing is a fine, just a regular fine nib. What I like about the Franklin Christophs is that they do have a variety of different resins, but I really like the transparent ones. I really like this Van Ness exclusive, but I thought the Van Ness exclusive was too similar to the antique glass, so I thought, nah, I don't need it, but it's just stunning. So I'm going to compare this then to other pens that I have in my collection that you might be more familiar with. Brain. So here is the TWSBI Eco in comparison for size. Then an Esterbrook Esty, a Leonardo Memento Zero. So you can see in terms of size, it is actually very similar in length to an Esty and to a Memento Zero. It's a bit shorter than the Esterbrook Esty. But what I love about the Franklin Christophs is that the grip section is actually very, very comfortable for me. Don't roll away. And I need a certain width in the grip section in order for it to be comfortable for me. So you can see how long that grip section is on the Franklin Christoph versus the Esterbrook Esty, and it's just so comfortable. When I first got the Model 31 in the Ascension wing, I thought that the threads here would bother me, but actually they're really comfortable to hold, and I love that. So I'm going to just ink this up quickly here and then add this to my book. All right, so I am here in my Hobonichi A5 notebook, and this pen profile stamp, which I did not do a great job of stamping, this is from Everyday Explorers Co. So this is the Franklin Christoph Model 31, and the nib is an EF SIG nib. The color is antique glass. And I have this inked with Amarillo Stationery. And this is a new one. Thank you, Eric. I love this one. Amarillo Stationery teal waistband. Oh, and that nib is lovely because you've got the thin strokes across and then the broad strokes down. Lovely. So slicey, but still really smooth. Oh, perfect, perfect. So that is the first pen I got at the San Francisco. The Chicago Pen Show is my Model 31 Franklin Christoph in antique glass. The second pen I purchased at the pen show is this one from Hinze Pen Co. The first time I ever met Jim and Francisco and Jenny was at the San Francisco Pen Show. And I guess this is the fourth pen show that I've seen Jim at, because I also saw him at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show last year. This was one that they custom did for me. I really liked the Texas Orchid that they have at Atlas Stationers, but I wanted it clipless and I wanted it in their model K, which is something that fits really, really well in my hand. So just look at that beautifully poured resin, those colors, and look at just how that sheens and shines. It's beautiful. And then the surprise inside, and this is what I love about Heinz pen, is the colored nib. So this is a fuchsia nib, and I thought fuchsia would be perfect for the orchid color that is in here, and it's beautiful. So this is an extra fine fuchsia nib, and Jim also tuned that for me. So in terms of sizing, gosh, let me get my pen tray. In terms of sizing, this is the Texas Orchid in model K, and then I also have this Champagne at Midnight in model K. It looks like it's a little bit longer, and then compare it to, I'll compare it again to the TWSBI Eco, my Esterbrook Esty, and the Leonardo Memento Zero. So you can see I do have a preference in terms of the size of the pen. I do like them a little bit longer, but also you can tell the width of the body is slightly wider as well, and I just really like that size. There's hardly a step from the threads to the body. It's a really, really smooth transition for me, and even when I'm placing my fingers there, they're very comfortable, and those threads are not sharp at all. And then when you think about how the threads are, there is a little feedback in the threads, meaning that it's not like glassy smooth, but I am okay with that. Now I actually need to add a converter to this because Jim forgot to put a converter in it, but thankfully he gave me a bunch of converters when I was at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show with him. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. All right, so back in my notebook here, and I've already got ink on myself. So the brand is Hinze Pen Co, and the model, it's model K. The nib is an extra fine fuchsia nib, and the color is Texas Orchid. And the ink I currently have here is a new one that I haven't even swatched yet. It's Wearingeul, the Autumn Night After 1,000 Years. So I'll actually, the Autumn Night After 1,000 Years. And I chose this because of the greens and the gold shimmers in there, although I don't know if I actually picked up any of that. But this is just a, let's see if any of that ink comes up here. Just a regular extra fine nib, which has been tuned and smoothed by Jim, and I appreciate that extra craftsmanship that he does there. So that is the second pen in my acquired pens from the Chicago Pen Show. This is the Heinze Pen Co. Texas Orchid. So those were the two pens I purchased on day one, and then day two, Bart from Zodiac Pen Co. arrived, and he had two pens for me. This first one is, and actually I'll tell you, it comes with this pen sleeve, and you can choose actually whether to get the pen sleeve that matches the sign of the pen, or if you want to get your own pen sleeve that matches your own sign. Gosh, my brain. So this is a blank that Bart picked up for me at the Orlando Pen Show last year, and he's just been hanging on to it before he can make me a pen. This is from Poorly Controlled, and it is bourbon and smoke. But like, look at the shimmers that are in the brown there, and then the white, and it's just stunning. And this is in the Capricorn model. The Capricorn model has the flat ends. But the great thing about Bart's pens is that all of his pens have the same grip section, which I know is very, very comfortable for me. The threads are very smooth in Bart's pens as well, and they're just so well made. It really shows off the material. Now the nib that's on here is also an extra fine nib because I am, you know, a breaker of tradition like that, going with fines or extra fines, but I love the look of this. It's just the beautiful browns and then the white swirls in there, and then there's shimmers in there too. It's just stunning. What a wonderful, wonderful pen. Now the other pen that I also got from Bert, I'm going to put this here. This one is still an unnamed blank, and it's one that I guess Bart and I are collaborating on. Let me grab it. The other pen came, I decided to get my Aries sleeve, and this is the pen. Now we don't know, well, we haven't named this resin yet, but Bart really likes the look of it because it looks like it's got SeaGlass, and to me, I think it looks like a kaleidoscope. And the beautiful thing about this pen is that you can match it pretty much with any ink. You can match it with green or purple or orange or red. It's really, really versatile cracked ice resin. And I chose to have this in the Sagittarius model because the Sagittarius model has the conical ends here, the sharper ends, and I thought it just made it look like a gemstone. So that is the Sagittarius model. Like I said, the grip section is pretty much the same across all of the models of Bart's pens, which makes it really, really comfortable for me. And I know that his models of pens will mostly work out for me. And there is a tiny little step from the body to the grip, but with where I grip my pen, it is not at all sharp. And then I'll actually take a look at the Capricorn as well. There's a tiny step there as well. But again, with it's so smooth, it's hardly noticeable. And then the nib that I have on this one is actually the 2025 Chicago Pen Show nib that was just an extra fine nib. So I'll ink these two up quickly here. I just realized I didn't compare the sizes of these. So that's the Capricorn, and this is the Sagittarius, and then I'll show you the Cancer model. And then I also have, because I have so many pens from Bart, the Virgo model. So these are the 4 different models that I have from Bart here. Virgo was the first one, and Virgo for me feels the most similar to an Esty in terms of its width, and then the other pens are just that much wider. But I'll show you as well the grip sections between all of Bart's pens. You can see how similar they are. They all have that pinched section, which for me works really well. Actually, let's remove the Esty from there. But you can see why I find these pens so comfortable is because the grip section is actually a little wider than the Esty, which is why I do think Bart's pens are quite comfortable. So the first one I'm going to put down here is the Capricorn. So we have the brand, which is Zodiac Pen Co. Oh, this is really comfortable. And the model is Capricorn. The nib is an extra fine. And the color is, I have to say, poorly, why is there not enough room here? Controlled Bourbon and Smoke. And it is currently inked with Enderilium, Tulip, Moth, Warm, another ink that I bought at the Chicago Pen Show, and just a few figure eights and strokes with this extra fine nib. Lovely. Oh, beautiful. So that is the Zodiac Pen Co Capricorn in the Bourbon and Smoke from Poorly Controlled. Then the next one, we have, again, Zodiac Pen Co. Wipe a little excess ink off that nib. And this is with the Chicago Pen Show nib. The model is Sagittarius, and this ink is actually very wet. The nib is an extra fine, and the color is actually unnamed at the moment. Unnamed. And it is inked with Amarillo Stationery. And this one is Urkix. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, because that still matches with that pen. Ah, okay. Really smooth, extra fine nib, but I do have Jim and Matthew Chen for thank them for tuning and smoothing that, because I think I accidentally dropped it. All right, so that is the Zodiac Pen Co. Sagittarius model in the unnamed cracked ice resin. And then I thought I was all done. I was like, I've been so good. I only bought the pens that I came to the pen show for. Oh, famous last words. Because I kept hanging around the Hinze Pen Co. table, of course I was going to check out the pens. And this one is something that I didn't think I would like, but here we go. This is another Model K, and this one is in a resin by Nick Pasquale called Purple Nurple. Now, when I asked Francisco and Jim about this name, they're like, I don't like that name, but we can't think of anything else, so Purple Nurple it is. I feel like that name really contradicts how beautiful the resin looks in here. Is just, it looks like a waterfall of purple. Isn't that gorgeous? I really, really like that. I just love the way that the pattern falls. And I say I don't have too many purple pens. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? Yeah, 4. Okay. I have 4 purple pens out of my very big collection. So yeah, but this is again another beautiful pen by Hinze Pen Co. Another similar model to it is the same model as my Champagne at Midnight that I bought at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show. But let's compare it then to other models that I've got. So it looks quite small compared, or the Leonardo Memento Zero looks smaller here, but then compare it to my other purple pen, the Esterbrook SD and the TWSBI Eco. So this is not a conical pen, it's more of like a flat end type of pen, but I actually really like it. For me, the ends don't seem to matter as much, as long as, 1, it looks pretty, but 2, when I grip it, it's actually easy to hold, and that for me is what counts. And this grip section is really comfortable. But what I forgot to show you was the nib. It's a purple nib, and isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely lovely. So one of the things with these maker pens, and the things that I love about seeing a pen at a pen show, is the fact that the pen you see is the pen that you are going to get. So it's not as if you're asking a maker to make something from a pen blank. This is basically what you see in the show in front of you is what you're going to get. So there's no risk of having a maker make a pen and you not liking the way that the resin looks. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this one up here. All right, so back in my A5 notebook, and I'm just in awe of this. And I mean, like, the purple nib just adds so much. So the brand is Hinze Pen Co. The model is another model. Oh, hold on. It's another model. There we go. Model K. And this has an EF nib. Now, I didn't even get the stamp of the color. This is Purple Nurple. And it is inked with a new ink that I haven't even yet swatched. It's Wearing Ghoul, No Longer Human. Isn't that lovely? This kind of dark grayish purple that I thought would be perfect for this pen. Now I'm inking all of these and kind of giving you a sneak peek into 15 Inks 30 Days that's coming in June. So that is my 5th purchase of the Chicago Pen Show, Hinze Pen Co. Purple Nurple. Unexpected purchase, but I love it. And then we have a very unexpected and unplanned purchase here from Esterbrook. I had no plans to purchase anything from Esterbrook because I am good. I am good with my Esterbrook collection until I saw this. No, not the pen sleeve. This one. Yes, this still has some pen stain from it from when I placed it in another pen sleeve that had ink that leaked. But anyway, this is the Esterbrook Model J in the prototype Peachy Caramel. Now I'm noticing a few things in here, like maybe that's just glue or something from the inside of that case, but otherwise a Model J. This was probably my most expensive purchase from the show, and this was an unplanned purchase as well. But with the look of the prototype, I was like, wow, I'm going to have to get that. But what I also love about it, sorry, I'm just like cleaning it as we go here. What I love about it is that it's matte, and I love a good matte finish. Now, I didn't get any of the prototypes that were a part of the big sale that had happened with Lori of Time with Tata, but I saw this one on the table and I thought I have to get it. Although I am a little worried about the fact that there's just, I guess, excess glue or whatever it is that's coming off here. And I'm going to be very transparent about that, because you'd think for how much this pen costs, that wouldn't be there. Let me try something. All right, looks like I might have gotten like some lint or glue stuck on there, which is a little concerning, but I think it'll be okay. All right, so this was the unplanned purchase of the Chicago Pen Show. I love the fact that it is matte and it's this creamy peachy caramel, which I think the name feels a little weird for it, because I don't know, is caramel peachy? But anyway, this kind of matches the Tarnishy nostalgic honey, the color that I really like, and the kind of orangey brown as well. Now I'll show you the other model J's that I have in my collection, because I have two, and I told myself that I didn't need any more model J's, and then I saw this one and I'm like, well, now I do. So the other model J that I have is it's not lilac, is it violet? Oh my gosh, I cannot remember. And then we have Antique Rose. And I really like the Model J. I think it's a very comfortable pen. It's got the same push cap mechanism in the cap like the SD, but also, I mean, it is a little bit, it feels a little shorter than the SD, but I'll show you here. It is definitely shorter than the SD. So if you like a longer pen, this may not be for you, but you can post it. It feels a little back heavy though when you post it, and I'd be just afraid of scratching that matte surface. But otherwise, I really do like the look of this pen. I don't need any more Model J's. I'm happy with the collection that I have and all of the SDs that I have too. Ah, famous last words. All right, let's go ahead and ink this up. Okay, so the brand is Esterbrook. Oh, I like that ink. And this nib, this extra fine nib, so smooth right out of the box. This is Model J. Oh my gosh, I've noticed, other than the Zodiac Pen Co's, I've got a Model 31, two Model K's, and a Model J. And the nib on here is an extra fine, and the color is Peachy Caramel. Oh, I love this ink color. This is Amarillo Stationery. And this is in Toasty Joggers. I really like that ink. Maybe not an exact match for this pen, but it is lovely. Oh my gosh. And that extra fine nib writes so smoothly. So, oh, actually, the way that that ink is drying looks very similar to the pen. All right, so that is my expensive, unexpected, unplanned purchase. It is the Esterbrook Model J prototype in Peachy Caramel. So those are my acquisitions from the Chicago Pen Show. Yes, 6 pens, which was 3 more than I had originally planned, but I am actually really happy with my purchases. But also, one of the reasons why I kind of went hog wild is because I won't be ordering from American shops as much due to the cost of customs and tariffs and things like that. So when I'm at a pen show, that'll be my opportunity to purchase from American makers and vendors. So I'm making up for, I guess, lost opportunity those months where I won't be able to purchase. My next pen show is going to be the Pacific Northwest Pen Show, and then the next one after that will be San Francisco, and that will be my last one for the year. But I'm pretty happy with these purchases, but also the inks that I was able to use. Like, all of these inks are new, and I haven't even, except for Andrew Mothworm, that's a new bottle, but I haven't, never mind. I'm just babbling. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's time for me to relax. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was a good summary of all the pens. I know I could have done an individual video for each, but that would have taken forever. And I'm glad I was able to summarize everything that I got at the Chicago Pen Show here. If you guys have any questions about any of these pens, please let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks again so much for watching and have yourselves a great day.